Well, the hope was to kind of give you an example how other cabs in the past have operated and have made some changes at their center, and Christian has several examples of what has done in the past to really make some change, and he used cab as a vehicle to do that change. And Christian, if you can want to start the power that they have at centers.
Um, Thank you, Brenda. One of the things that I wanted to talk to the cab members today about was that when I was a cab member myself, as a core member, I realized that numbers equal power. And when you have all the cabs throughout the whole state united and agreeing on things and actually doing things the professional way, that the staff will listen because you guys know all your rules and regulations and you guys are united. And again, I'll say it again. I can't say it enough. Numbers equal power. If you guys are all together, they're forced to listen to you guys. And I learned the one way when I was a cab president. We would go to like unity days and stuff like that, and I would always hear core members complaining. And sometimes we would go to spikes or emergencies, and I would talk to other cab presidents or just core members in general throughout the state. And I would ask them questions, and they would always tell me the same thing was going on at every center. Staff treats us unfairly, blah, 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 and all this stuff. So I took it upon myself and started getting numbers and calling all the cab presidents throughout the state. And we got together in San Luis Obispo on our own time. CCC didn't pay for this. They didn't even know that we did this. And we got together and we basically started talking about what's going on in your center, and I was taking down notes of everything. And we ended up finding out that the same problems were happening throughout the state. So we got to the point where we were so frustrated that we said, you know what, if things don't change, we need to go back to our centers and talk about striking and basically not working. And let's see what they do about that. So all the CAP presidents went back to each center, talked to their core members about, hey, what do you guys think about striking? We're all going to do it together throughout the whole state. And pretty much everybody was together. So at the time, we had decided that we were going to strike on a certain day, and if things didn't change. So we all had each other's phone numbers, all the CAP presidents at the time. And I remember clearly like it was yesterday. I was out there working on the grade, and then all of a sudden my C1, the supervisor, comes up to me and says, hey, Walter Hughes, the regional director, needs to talk to you. And I was shocked, like, why does this guy want to talk to me? So I get on the phone, and I'm like, yes, hi, this is Christian. And he said, hey, I found out what you're trying to do. I found out that the CAB members are all together, that you guys are going to try to strike on such and such day. Please don't do it. I need to talk to you guys. I need to hold a meeting with all the CAB presidents throughout the state. And I was, like, trying to play it off like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I didn't want to let them know that this is what we were planning to do. And then he said, please don't do it. I really need to talk to you guys, and I'm going to have the northern director come and talk to you guys too. So we had both directors, regional directors, come and talk to every single CAB president that we had aligned with. And they basically told us, okay, we need to hear what are your problems, what's going on. And we told them basically everything. And that's when I found out right there that we had power because we were united and we were all together. Basically saying that this can't happen to us, that, we have rights too. And they changed some stuff. They didn't change exactly everything, but they did change some of the rules and regulations, and we were kind of happy about that. One of the second examples I have is I was also the CAB president, and I was teaching COMET at the time, and we were giving out journals to every COMET core member. And during the class that I was teaching, anger management, I told the core members, I would want you guys to use your journal as a tool. And if you ever get disrespected by a supervisor or a super grade or whatever, instead of going off on them and cursing them out and then you get fired, write it down on your journals like, I'm pissed at you, you dumb mother effer, whatever, da-da-da-da, and use it as a tool because I don't want you guys to get in trouble and get fired. So one of our core members that was in COMET, when he came out, I guess the supervisor yelled at him or something. I honestly can't remember what happened. And the core member wrote down in the journal, "You dumb mother effer, da 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 da," pissed off, right? Instead of yelling at the supervisor. And when he was calm and collected after writing all that down, he went back to the C1 and talked to the C1 and said, "You know what? I didn't appreciate what you did, da 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 da, whatever." So a couple of weeks went by, and somehow the C1 got a hold of the journal and read the journal and read what the young man had wrote about her. So she got really pissed off and tried to separate him and did all the paperwork and said, "Hey, you're separated because you cursed me out on your journal, da da da." And the core member got pissed off, and he came and told me and said, "Hey, Chris, didn't you teach us in Comet that this is a good tool to write in our journals when we're upset instead of yelling at them and da da da?" And I said, "Yeah, that's true." So they separated him at the time. So I got the cab together in our center, and we wrote letters from all the core members basically saying that, wouldn't you rather have them write in their journal when they're mad than yelling at your supervisors and causing a scene and all that? And we took it to the director of the center, and the director agreed. He said, "You know what, that is true. It's better for them to write on a piece of paper when they're mad than yelling at the supervisor, because two wrongs don't make it right." And the core member was gone for about 3 to 4 days. I honestly can't remember how many days at home because the core member had got separated. Well, the director brought the core member back and paid him for all those days that they were at home sitting doing nothing, because he felt that the C1 was unjustly for firing the core member because, number one, that's a personal thing, and they shouldn't be going through your journals and reading this stuff. So that's another example of how the cab can be really powerful and have a voice for the core members and fight for you guys, because I was telling Brenda yesterday on a phone call that we had, a conversation, that I don't understand why cab members take this cab as a joke. And I don't know if it's because people are used to people not listening to the cab, or maybe they're voting in the wrong people that are not serious about, helping out and doing something, because the cab is like a mini union. I know you guys don't have a union, but they're your voice, and they should be there to represent each one of you guys. And if you guys are really dedicated and united and take care of business and do what you're supposed to and know all the policies and procedures, you guys have rights too, and no one can tell you anything. And I'm staff, and I'm telling you guys this, okay? And I teach this in my center, and sometimes I know I might get in trouble, but I don't care, because core members are core members, and you guys have rights. And when I was a core member, I always fought for my rights. And I still speak up for core members as a staff, but you guys need to start learning how to speak up for yourselves, because you guys are the core members, and you guys need to be heard. And I know there's a lot of things going on, and sometimes people come and talk to me about it, and I said, look, take it to your cab, because cab is the voice. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I don't know if you guys believe my stories or not, but I'm just telling you, I'm living proof, and I truly believe that's why I became a supervisor really fast and young, because they saw the drive and the experience that I had of leading people and gathering information together and fighting for people's rights.
And thank you for sharing with that for the core members and cab members who are on call with us. And what Christian doesn't have, and what you guys have right now, is a vehicle to communicate. He's the one who organized and called each cab member from each center and said, "Hey, let's meet in SLO and have a discussion about all the things that are going on in our center, all the things that are unjust in our eyes." And he mobilized that. And you guys have this conference calls. You guys have e-blasts. You guys have each other's emails to communicate. It makes it easy to communicate all the things that you guys want to bring up to discussion. And so you have an opportunity to really do something really great. So you can always listen in and just review his story. I think they're very critical. And Christian, if I have your permission to send it to the rest of the cab so they can listen in to your stories that you have so kindly shared with us. And I think your story is available to us, and I think your testament to being empowering yourself and empowering the cab. So I hope you give me permission to distribute to the cabs.
Yeah, that's no problem, Brenda, because honestly, what I learned in the cab, I even ended up taking it to my own neighborhood, and I ended up building a youth group, and everything that I learned in cab was so positive in building this youth group in my neighborhood and getting a lot of kids off the streets and stuff, because once you know the rules and regulations, it goes anywhere.
Is that just a good skill to have in any setting? So Ben, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying, it's good to see some people step up for the community. I mean, you got people who are afraid to take that step, afraid to take the challenge of taking authority on, even though, whether it's, even through our center, and I think he did a really good job, and it is motivating.
That's
yeah, definitely.